Jared, do you feel like the trip was a success when you come home 1-1? I mean, obviously, you go into overtime, you have a chance there in the second one.
Yeah, I mean, we went in there, got one win. It's great. I'd love to have two. We didn't. Glad it's not 2-0 them. So I think we're in a good spot, right? We did what we had to do on the road, and now we got to come home and take care of business.
Fair.
Jared, is Ross Colton going to be an option at any point in the series?
Possibly.
Colleen?
What do you want to see differently coming from that overtime loss to the game 3 back at Ball Arena with the intensity that you're going to have?
Well, I think like there's large portions of that game that I really liked. I'm still going through it. The third period stands out to me as a disappointing period. I kind of touched on it yesterday. We have to sustain our game for a full 60, and part of that for me where it started was we stopped skating out of the D zone and making plays coming out of our D zone. It seemed like we were just happy to flip it out back in the neutral zone, and they just kept coming back on us in waves, right? And it lasted too long, cost us the equalizing goal. And then I thought we did a nice job getting back to our game for the overtime, which is really good overtime, high-paced overtime. So, yeah, there's a couple things we wanted to improve upon after game 1. Some of it we saw slight improvements, and then some of the things that we did really well in game 1 we got a little worse at in game 2. So we'll have to get back to where we think we can be with that.
Evan and Corey.
You said you need more from that second line. In a tight, I guess a short series like that, how quick do you have to be to like make an adjustment if need be after 2 games like that?
Yeah, it depends. It can be pretty early. Like we're thinking about it right now because we need to get some offense out of those guys. I think they've been a responsible defending line, which is great. You know, like you're going to win some matchups, you're going to lose some, you're going to break even on some, right? But a second line is also required, or it's very important that they create some offense, and they haven't been creating much offense as a line, so we might have to think about switching some things around for game 3.
Corey Bednar.
Is there anything, like, when you guys were on the front foot yesterday, it seemed like you were really in control of the game.
Yeah.
And then you go back and look at like some of the expected numbers, and it just didn't. It seemed like you were turning them over a lot, but it wasn't turning into enough like great chances. Like was it just
For us?
Yeah. Like whenever you guys.
I think we did a good job again on the rush, and we need to do a little bit more in ozone play. I looked at some of the numbers. I don't know if I agree with all the numbers because then I watched the video, and just like I did, I don't know if I did in game 1 either. You know, I think it was a little tighter than what it showed, and I think last night was tighter than what it showed. Because you're going to get expected goal numbers on every attempt to the net. There's going to be a value, and they had more volume than we did, but I like some of the chances that we created. Like I thought we could have went up in that game easily in the first period, and we didn't. We had some good, but most of our chances right now are coming off the rush more so than ozone play. I think we did a little bit better job getting to the interior of the ice in game 1. For scoring chances, or at least attempts, and even screens, tips, rebounds, deflections, that kind of thing.
Gabe's pregame warm-up created a buzz, and I wonder when it comes to the decision tomorrow night, would the emotional boost a return from him could provide, would that be a factor for you as you look ahead to game 3?
Yeah, it possibly, yeah. I think it could. You know, I think he brings a lot to the table when it comes to his leadership and his presence in the room, and then obviously we'll see how it goes on the ice, but I think he provides a lot of things that could help us in game 3.
A few last ones, right?
How have you been so effective so far at containing Mikko in particular?
Well, their matchup was the Johnson line against the McKinnon line, right? So you got Taze Makar out there most times against Mikko and his line, and Mac. That line's done a nice job, right? You got Lecky, Mac, and Necky, all guys that can skate and move with speed, and they're in attack mode, so they've had some pretty good ozone time and some good chances. So I think it's just 2 good lines playing against one another, and if you're Mikko, you're playing against some of the best in the world, and if you're Mac, you're playing against some of the best in the world. So it's a tight matchup.
Colleen?
Martin Etches only has 1 point in the 2 games. How has his game been to to you?
I think it's been good. Yeah, he's been skating and working and creating some good looks and some opportunities. Yeah, I've really liked his involvement, especially on the defensive side here. Like, I think he's got a heightened sense of urgency in his defending and tracking and D-zone coverage, and he's one of the guys that seemed to not really panic too much and throw the puck away yesterday. I felt like he did a nice job, trying to stay on the attack and using his legs to his advantage.
Finish with Evan.
Lindgren has never been known for offense at the NHL level, but it seems like, especially last night, he was kind of everywhere willing to jump up. Have you guys noticed that he's got maybe a little bit more than maybe he's shown?
Well, he actually, when you dig into his underlying numbers and stuff, he's always kind of had that. Maybe not so much as on the rush, but in ozone play, he's a really effective player, getting his shots through to the net and picking spots to get active. And that showed up in a lot of the pre-scout video we did before we drafted him, where we felt like he could take another step playing in our system. And it's just almost exactly like we talked about with Manson the other day after the game. They're very similar players when it comes to that.